Hi everybody, Matt Highway here. Today we're going to talk about this wonderful tool called iNaturalist. It really is an amazing social science tool that has this massive international catalogue of living things. It is really truly special. It is a great way to kind of understand your catchment from a biodiversity point of view, and a great way to engage with people within your catchment as well. What's really cool about it is you can start projects, but you can also explore just, with a simple login. We can have a look at the entire world if we wanted to for biodiversity and lose our time in here just exploring all the wonderful things that make up our beautiful planet. Or we can go into, let's go into little old New Zealand, Aotearoa, and just to show you the amount of observations that are going on, each of these points is an observation, a living thing observed. And of course it could be weeds or some sort of quite common thing, or something quite special as well. So it's a wonderful way to understand your catchment from people's observations and what they're doing. If we can use this map here, let's say we zoomed into a catchment that we were part of. We can use this to look at all sorts of different things. We can click on these points, find out what the observations were, cicadas in this case, kikuyu grass, so they're picking up weeds, those sorts of things as well. And a great way to interact and see who's doing what as well. So the cool thing here, like you can search for species as well, and if you typed in, let's say kiruru, we can start to see these observations. Let's zoom out a little bit for the whole country. We can see it's a very common, well, quote unquote common species in the country. It's observed often. It's a big part of our fauna. What's interesting here is we can see that most of the observations are where people are. See, there's Auckland, we've got Tauranga, Mount Maunganui, Katikati, all those highly populated places, New Plymouth, Wellington, of course, around the top of the south, around Nelson, Richmond kind of areas. So you can see they really are where people can observe them, right? So it's very hard to get any kind of density measurement or those sorts of things as well. So if you type in something quite rare in the environment and special, like Hoscheta's frog here in our example, what can be useful is we can start to see a little bit of, with the people factor in mind, a little bit of distribution of that species as well. So it's quite useful. So for example, if you're further south in the country, you wouldn't expect to find that. And, maybe if you're close to these areas, that could be something to really look out for. Anyway, the point of this is it's a great engagement tool. It can enable you to, have access to expertise, or even artificial intelligence can use to identify species. So you can post a species on there, and there's experts from all over the world. In New Zealand, they're very good as well. They're on all the time. If you think about like fungus, there's experts at museums and universities that sit on here and just doing amazing work in their own spare time identifying species for us. So it's really fantastic, and it's a great way to engage. So if you can set up a project as well. So if you go into community here and go projects, a couple of little things that you can do is start a project. So what that means is you can go in and set up your catchment group. So there's a couple of different ways you can do it. A collection project, so that might be a BioBlitz or something like that, or an umbrella project. And those umbrella projects, if you think about it, if you're in a catchment collective, you might have multiple sub-catchments. Let's say you're in Tukituki and there's 17 sub-catchments there, multiple sub-catchments, and you can kind of get leaderboards and competition going between each of the catchments. So it's a great engagement tool. Not only that, people are out there with the apps collecting information and learning. It's just such a really cool thing to do. These collection projects probably more common, I suppose. where they're focusing on certain parts of the landscape or a certain time frame. And yeah, you can put in a whole bunch of things here. This is all free, by the way. This is all free. And I would encourage people who love this to donate to it if they can. So anyway, I will leave it at that. It's something to really explore. There's a great app. It can be explored online like I am here. And just a wonderful way to get engagement, get people excited about what you're doing. It's a way to set up a project and sort of talk amongst yourselves. We can monitor change, like if you imagine weeds in the landscape as well, we can look at those, even if they're kind of sitting in the landscape and not particularly weedy at the moment. We can identify some of those exotic species. Great way to engage with scientists and with each other. And you know, you could find something really awesome in there, but you can see the richness of this data. It's huge, and how engaged people are with our wonderful natural environment. I'll leave it at that. Go and have a good time exploring this and give it a go within your catchment groups. Okay, take care. Bye.